So you see how much fun you may have with the Gazelle, flying low level, flying hard maneuvers. That's the way I like helicopter flying. That's the reason why I started a helicopter career. It was the fast, low level flying and the agility and the possibility of movement that you have in a really nice, powerful helicopter. So the goal will be not to hear the max power warning audio sign, so still stay in limit as much as possible. Oops! That was a little bit too hard, but still manageable. Huh. That wouldn't be possible with the old flight model. That was a definite crash in the old flight model because over-controlling. Because of over-controlling, that was when it get hard on pretty sharp in the old flight model. I tended to over-control the aircraft and losing control after that. So, but now it's really, really great flying the Gazelle, high speed, low level, looking for the gaps between the trees or looking for the gaps between the buildings. But I need to be still aware that I have limited collective and that the collective have not any or not that much effect like in the UH1. Usually you say altitude is controlled by the collective and speed is controlled by the cyclic. It doesn't fit in the Gazelle. You have some kind of altitude control on the collective, but during hard maneuvers there is only cyclic climb possible, otherwise you will crash directly into the obstacles. Of course you may lose speed if you do it too hard. If you're too late with the maneuver, you will lose a lot of speed during a cyclic climb, but you get used to it. You need about 1 or 2 hours extensive flight time in the Gazelle to get used to it, and a couple of hours more to be able to switch between UH1 and the Gazelle. So if I fly an hour in the Gazelle now and then I switch back to the UH1, I need about 1 or 2 minutes to get used to the UH1 again, and after an hour flight in the UH1, when I then switch back to the Gazelle, it took me at least another hour to get used to the Gazelle again. So it needs much more flight time in a Gazelle to get used to the small inputs on the control and to the difference in use of pedals, and of course the most different part is the collective, the reaction on the collective. I don't think about the use of the pedals. Doesn't matter if it's a left or right turning main rotor system. I press the pedal that it's needed. Don't think about it too much. For takeoff, of course, instead of pushing left pedal a little bit before takeoff, I push right pedal, but during flight I don't think about right or left turning main rotor systems. I only react to the situation and do what's necessary. You do not need to jump out of an airplane with or without parachute to get a high level of adrenaline. Flying the Gazelle low level fast speed here in DCS between the trees and the building did the same job. Your adrenaline level in the blood is rising, your hands get shaking. It's hard work, but makes a lot of fun. Okay, this was over controlling, and at the end of the flight we do some maneuvers the Gazelle is famous for because of his very good weight and power ratio. Usually you should be able to do some hard maneuvers and get into cover behind some obstacles. Now is the situation where we got all these warning signs. We reached the max power available, and by the way, the aircraft is now still at about 28% fuel, and without any weapons, clean on the outside, no additional weight. So with some weapons, all these maneuvers would not be possible. That is a good sign for me that the Gazelle actually lacks power in DCS, because for all these maneuvers and the way of flying, the Gazelle is famous in real life. And if you are not able to do it in DCS without these yelling warning horns all the time, something is a little bit offset. So, but that's maybe change with time. It depends on the developer or the development team. At this stage, I would say thank you very much to the new developer team, for the guys taking care on the Gazelle after many years. Bring the Gazelle back on the at least number 2 list of my favorite helicopters in DCS. And what's most important for me, bring the fun back in the Gazelle. It was pretty hard in the past years, and now the fun is back. You can't do that in the UH-1. So at the end of the flight, we fly back to the airport and we do an auto-rotation to the runway. Actually, there's a bug in the module. If I close the throttle just a little bit to split the needles and to enter auto-rotation state, the engine will quit. So there is only one chance, otherwise we need to restart the aircraft. So we try one auto-rotation on the runway. I will close the throttle back to ground idle. When entering the auto-rotation, and the engine will quit. So it's still a long way to go, so let's do it low level and let's hope we don't crash on the way to the airport. So we still be able to perform that auto-rotation. In the old flight model, it was pretty hard to fit into some narrow gaps between trees or buildings. So controlling the Gazelle in a confined area was pretty hard, and collisions with trees or buildings, cables, light poles or whatever are pretty common. but now it's much easier and feels pretty good. So let's climb. Let's go to a good autorotation height. We need to stay away a little bit from the airport because of the gliding capability of the Gazelle. If we close the throttle and lower the collective to the bottom, she will glide forever. So I do not have the experience with the new Gazelle at the moment, but I will try to land on the numbers 2-2 at the beginning of the runway. So we will see if I do it right. Okay, close the throttle, left pedal, because it's a clockwise turning engine, lower collective, left pedal, aft cyclic a little bit, and we already overshoot the numbers. So I do some S turns to bring the Gazelle down. Keep an eye on the airspeed. Airspeed is fine. Still I have the tendency to overshoot and she will balloon. So it doesn't matter. I will land about 200 meters behind. Now she's gliding, 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 gliding. Okay. That's a little bit strange. And touchdown. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, please give us a thumbs up. If you do not subscribe to the channel yet, that's your chance now. Thank you very much. See you next time.